Hey there, grade 9. Welcome to today's Music and Arts Lesson Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today as we step into an incredible new world of creativity. Today, we're exploring a concept we call sounds, shots, and stories. We're going to look at how technology has completely transformed emerging music and visual arts. Think about it. The music studio of today isn't just some fancy, soundproof physical room with heavy gear anymore. It's literally right there inside your screen. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever recorded a simple voice memo on your phone? Or maybe you've slapped a picture and slapped a really cool filter on it before posting. If you're nodding right now, well, guess what? You are already making art. You're already using the exact same technology that modern creators use every single day. Our goal for this explainer, we're going to take those everyday habits and make the process completely intentional. We're turning those quick taps on a screen into purposeful, creative storytelling. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's lesson. 1. The studio inside your screen. 2. The art of sampling. 3. Digital audio workstations. 4. Photography and videography basics. And finally, 5. Your creative power. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The studio inside your screen. So this whole shift, it's really all about the democratization of art. That sounds like a huge academic phrase, I know, but it really just means that technology has made it possible for almost anyone, anywhere, to create professional-level stuff without needing a massive budget. Back in the day, creating music or high-quality video depended entirely on expensive physical studios. You absolutely needed heavy drums, grand pianos, and massive recording gear. No gear, no art. But look at the present. We now have this infinite digital canvas right in our smartphones and laptops. You can literally program a drum beat or a full string section while sitting on the bus. We aren't replacing traditional instruments, right? We're expanding our creativity and giving you more ways than ever to express yourself. Moving right along. Section 2. The art of sampling. So now that we have this amazing digital canvas, what do we actually do with it? Well, that brings us to one of the most foundational techniques in modern music production, sampling. Let's clearly define this. Basically, sampling is a technique where a part of an existing sound recording is taken and used in a completely new composition. It's like snatching a tiny piece of magic from an old song and dropping it right into a brand new one. A catchy melody, a drum loop, maybe a weird sound effect. You repurpose it to build the foundation of your own track. Now, what's really interesting about this is how sampling allows you to stack completely different elements together in layers. Picture this. You take old soul music vocals, layer them over punchy hip-hop drums, and top it off with modern electronic synth effects. You are literally connecting different genres, eras, and cultures into something totally fresh and unique. No way is it just copying. It's transformation. You're paying tribute to musical history while pushing the boundaries forward. To really lock this idea in, I absolutely love this culturally resonant analogy. In Filipino, we say, sampling is parang paghiram ng recipe ng lola mo, tapos dinadagdagan mo ng sarili mong sangkap, bago pero may lasa ng dati. Basically, it's like borrowing your grandmother's secret recipe and then adding your own special twist to it. The dish you make is entirely yours, it's brand new, but when you taste it, you still get that wonderful, familiar flavor of the past. That, right there, is exactly what a great music sample does. Which brings us to Section 3, Digital Audio Workstations Explained. Okay, so where's all this sampling actually happening? It happens in a DAW, a digital audio workstation. This is the software used to record, edit, and arrange music into a polished, finished track. Think of it as your entire virtual studio stuffed right inside your computer, your tablet, or your phone. It's the blank canvas where beatmakers and musicians take raw sounds and magically turn them into those absolute bangers you stream every single day. And this brilliantly illustrates the concept. Think of a DAW like a music jeepney. You act as the driver. You load in all your passengers, the vocal recordings, the digital drums, the bass lines, the samples. Once everybody's on board, you use the sliders and controls to steer the whole ride, tweaking the balance until you reach your destination, a perfectly finished, cohesive song. Now, pretty much every DAW out there is going to give you 6 core tools to build your track layer by layer. First up, audio recording and playback. This is just how you capture and listen to your sounds. Then, MIDI. These are basically digital instructions telling your software exactly what notes to play. Third, virtual instruments and effects. This is wild because you get instant access to grand pianos or crazy synthesizers without ever having to buy them. Fourth is audio editing for trimming and cleaning things up.
Next, mixing and automation, which lets you perfectly balance the volume of all those different layers. And finally, mastering tools to give your track that loud, professional polish before you drop it for the world to hear.
So as you can see, there are tons of DAW apps, and they all kind of have their own superpowers. Ableton, famous for live performances. Logic Pro has an unbelievable library of virtual instruments. Cubase is your go-to for complex film scoring. But hey, for our purposes in grade 9, and really for anyone just wanting to dive in, I gotta highlight BandLab. It is totally free, it's mobile-friendly, and it gives you virtual instruments, loops, and mastering tools right on your phone. Seriously, it's the perfect place to start your audio journey. Let's move to Section 4, Photography and Videography Basics. All right, let's see how this builds into the visual realm. Just like a DAW turns your phone into an audio studio, the camera lens on that exact same device turns it into a powerhouse visual studio. Whether you're capturing a single frozen moment with photography or dynamic moving images with videography, that little rectangle in your pocket is a fully capable creative medium. But, to use it well, we really need to understand the basic rules of the road. To take a simple everyday snapshot and elevate it into intentional visual art, you've got to master a few technical elements. For photography, it boils down to composition, how you arrange things in your frame, lighting, using shadows and light to set the perfect mood, and exposure, making sure your image isn't totally blown out or super dark. Videography builds on those exact same elements, but adds camera angles and deliberate camera movement to guide your viewer's eye through a scene. Mastering these, that's what transforms a quick phone recording into actual cinematic storytelling. Finally, Section 5, your creative power. We've covered audio, we've covered visual, but what does all of this mean for you? Well, the moment you start creating, you join a massive community of artists, and you absolutely need to know that your work has value and it's protected. For instance, here in the Philippines, there's actual legislation called the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, Republic Act 11904. This law is literally designed to promote the creative industry and protect the rights of artists just like you. Your creativity isn't just a hobby, it is recognized as a vital part of our cultural landscape. So, as we wrap up this explainer, let's look at the modern creator's toolkit we've unlocked today. You've got the Digital Audio Workstation to sample and build tracks from scratch. You've got the foundational elements of photography to capture powerful still images. And you understand how videography uses movement and angles to tell a dynamic story. Together, these three mediums have completely democratized art. They put the power of a Hollywood studio and a professional record label quite literally at your fingertips. So, the crucial point is this. The old barriers are totally gone. You do not need to rent a studio or buy gear worth thousands of dollars to make something beautiful, meaningful, and impactful. The tools are already sitting right there in your pocket, just waiting for your ideas. The only question left to answer is, what will you create today? Get out there, start experimenting, and let your voice be heard. Thank you so much for joining me for this Grade 9 Music and Arts Explainer, and I'll see you next time.